This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Oil prices moved little in early Asian trade on Thursday as the prospect of tighter supply with output cuts from Saudi Arabia and Russia and a bigger-than-expected drop in U.S. crude stocks were offset by worries over a sluggish demand recovery in China. Brent crude futures was down 2 cents to $76.63 a barrel by 0038 GMT after settling up 0.5% the previous day. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was at $71.90 a barrel, up 11 cents, or 0.2%, after closing 2.9% higher in post-holiday trade on Wednesday to catch up with Brent's gains earlier in the week.
U.S. oil and gas production continued to trend higher through April, a delayed response to very high prices in the middle of 2022 after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But the fall in prices and drilling rates since late 2022 is set to reduce output in the second half of 2023 and tighten markets for both oil and gas later this year and into 2024. Crude and condensates production from the lower 48 states excluding federal waters in the Gulf of Mexico increased by 37,000 barrels per day, BPD, in May compared with April.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
The U.S. Navy said it had intervened to prevent Iran from seizing 2 commercial tankers in the Gulf of Oman on Wednesday, in the latest in a series of attacks on ships in the area since 2019. In a statement, the U.S. Navy said that at 0100 local time, 2100 GMT, an Iranian naval vessel had approached the Marshall Islands flagged oil tanker TRF Moss in international waters in the Gulf of Oman. The Iranian vessel departed the scene when U.S. Navy-guided missile destroyer USS McFaul arrived on station, the statement said, adding that the Navy had deployed surveillance assets including maritime patrol aircraft.
The Danish Energy Agency has launched a tender for the exploration and production of oil and gas at a new concession in the North Sea, it said in a statement on Thursday. The agency initiated the tender process following an unsolicited application from Norwegian energy company Blue Nord to the Danish Energy Ministry in April, it said. Companies will be able to apply for a permit for new oil and gas concessions under the tender until October 15, the energy agency said. It estimates the gas volume for the 2 fields included in the mini-tender, Elly and Luke, to be about 5.2 billion cubic meters. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. China's top copper smelters lifted the third-quarter guidance for copper concentrate processing treatment and refining charges, TCRCs, to a near 6-year high amid abundant supply and steady demand. The rates, decided at a meeting of the China Smelters Purchase Team, CSPT, held on Thursday, were $95 per metric ton and 9.5 cents per pound, 3 sources with knowledge of the matter said. This rate is the highest since the fourth quarter of 2017, and higher than this year's annual benchmark of $88 per 8.8 settled by Chinese smelters and global miners.
Iron ore futures struggled for firm direction on Thursday, as worries about steel production curbs in China offset optimism about additional stimulus expectations to support the country's sputtering post-COVID economic rebound. Some steel mills in China's southwest Sichuan province had received verbal notice about restriction on electricity use, according to consultancy and industry data provider MySteel. That could prompt mills to curb operations, just as China's top steel-producing city of Tangshan has ordered an output cut for July amid deteriorating air quality.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
This year's French soft wheat harvest is expected to show a yield 5% above the 10-year average, helped by good sowing conditions and regular rains in early spring, Crop Institute Arvalis and grain industry group Intercereals said on Thursday. The 2023 soft wheat yield would reach 7.5 metric tons per hectare, T per hectare, up 4.5% from 7.2 T per hectare last year, they said. Arvalis and Intercereals did not give a production forecast, but their projected yield multiplied by the Farm Ministry's area estimate of 4.77 million hectares would give a soft wheat crop of about 35.8 million metric tons, up more than 2 million from 33.7 million in 2022. That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.